What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of K-Cards Baseball. Thanks for joining me tonight on this lovely evening. Hopefully everything is wonderful out there for all of you. Tonight on the channel, we are going to do another trip into our closet. I did make a video a few weeks ago, pulling out a random box of cards out of the closet, and it did get a pretty decent response, so I thought I would try that again since it seems like it is something that you might possibly be interested in. So what we do here is we grab one of these 800 count boxes on the top shelf. It is too much to go through any of the big boxes, so we'll go through one of the small boxes. I haven't gone through these boxes in quite some time. You can see some of them are labeled for different sets, but the chances of those actual cards being in those boxes is pretty small, so not exactly sure. I probably sorted through these boxes in various times, I don't know, 4 or 5 times over the course of the last 25 or 30 years. So they've gotten all mixed up over the years, and we're kind of working on going through and getting them all organized again. But it's a very slow process. So what we're going to do is just grab a random box, probably off the top, and see what kind of cards are in here. I think we'll grab number 66. It's kind of sticking out a little bit and saying, let's open this one up. So there is box number 60. We're going to roll over to the table and open this box up and see what we can find. Hang on one second, guys. Okay, guys, here is our box number 60. Well, if I can show you guys. Box number 60 right there. So let's open it up and see what we can find inside of here. It looks like it's a variety of different types of cards that are in here. I see some hockey right up front. And what else do we got here? Some basketball. And then I think it looks like the rest of it is various different sets of baseball. So it'll definitely be an interesting box to go through for sure. Alrighty, guys, we are back. I just had to pull those cards out and get a little stage set up because we never know what we can find. Hopefully, if we find some Hall of Famers, we'll set the Hall of Famers aside if we find any. And yeah, let's just start going through it. I think it's best if we start off with hockey, and I think this is Score from like 1990 Score, I believe. Yep, 1990 Score. The Hartford Whalers were around back then. What are the Hartford Whalers now? Where did they go to? God, I forget where the Hartford Whalers ended up going to. Johnny Van Beesbrook. Did they turn into the New Jersey Devils? Maybe. Kurt Giles. He now is a coach at a local high school here. The Edina Hornets, and the Edina Hornets are perennial state high school hockey tournament favorites. Kevin Lowe. Adam Graves was a really good player for a long time, left winger. We got some Pro Set in here. Never was really a big fan of Pro Set. I think they had Pro Set football and Pro Set hockey, and I never was a really big fan of that product. Looks like some 1979 baseball. Here, Willie Norwood. I remember watching him as a kid. Willie Norwood. Paul Blair was a really good player for the Yankees. Not a Hall of Famer. Bill Russell with the Dodgers. He was a longtime Dodger for sure. Charlie Moore with the Brewers. Dave Cash. Paul Mitchell. Bob Watson. I remember him with the Astros for sure. Barry Foote. Doc Ellis. He was a good pitcher for... God, what was he with? Was he with the A's? He was with the A's for a short period of time. Was primarily with the Pirates, though. And then he went to the Yankees. So, that was that. Anyways, and then we got some 86 tops. Mickey Hatcher. Lee Smith, Hall of Famer. Lee Smith. So we got one Hall of Famer. He's not exactly a well-known Hall of Famer, but I mean, he was a great reliever for many years for the Cubs back in the 80s for sure. He was probably one of the top two or three best relievers at that particular time. Butch Weiniger actually started out with a Twin and went to the Yankees and had a pretty decent career with them. Rick Rhoden was a pitcher for a long time for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Dickie Thon. Joaquin Andujar. I remember him pitching in the '87 World Series against the Twins. He was their top pitcher at that particular time in the mid '80s. Joaquin Andujar. I'm not exactly sure what Skybox's history is or where they ended up, or who the main. Yeah, Skybox was like an independent company. I don't know if this is like the first year. I think this is 1990. Skybox, yep, down there on the bottom. So, Steve Kerr, now the head coach and the longtime head coach for the Golden State Warriors. We'll set that one aside. He was most known with the Bulls. Was a big-time player for the Bulls. Kurt Rambis. I don't remember him being with Phoenix. I just remember Kurt Rambis with the Lakers for a long time. Wayman Tisdale. Rod Strickland was a good player. Nate McMillan with the Seattle Supersonics. Olden Polynice. Sadeo Threet. I remember him for sure. God, it doesn't seem like that long ago that he was playing. John Stockton. I think he's Hall of Famer, John Stockton. Obviously, he led the Utah Jazz several times to the NBA Finals. Never won a NBA championship. Kept running into Mr. Michael Jordan, and that kind of hurt their chances. Casey Jones he was a head coach with. I remember he was a player with the Celtics. Ended up as a coach. And these are like team cards. That's different. Avery Johnson, Kenny Smith. Alrighty, I'm going to try and get through these a little bit fast. Did I go through these already? Ricky Pierce, Jeff Turner, no, Tom Chambers was a good player. Oh yeah, I did go through these. Okay, sorry. So that is Skybox. What the heck? Alrighty, I do have some more Skybox in here. Well, I already went through it. God dang it. Not very organized. Trent Tucker. No, I didn't go through these ones. Trent Tucker was a Minnesota Golfer and Knicks, and then he went to the Bulls. He actually is a pretty well-respected local guy here locally in Minneapolis. He ran the athletic department for Minneapolis Public Schools for a while and does a lot of things locally here. His kids are actually now big-time hockey players. He hosts a radio show on Saturday morning on our local sports talk show, local sports talk channel here in Minneapolis. Alex English was a good player for the Nuggets for a long time. Vinny Johnson. And AC Green is in there. And that's what we got. Nothing too earth-shattering. I probably have the top cards out of that set in a different area. Don't know what box they would be in. You know, your Jordans and your Magics and your more Hall of Fame players. Now we get into 1990 tops. Russ Nixon, Frank Tanana. A great player for a long time. Then we got, what is this, 84? Yeah, 84 tops. Sid Mungie. Tim Wallach, All-Star. Jeff Reardon. He was a reliever for the Twins, won a World Series with the Twins in '87 as the main reliever for the Twins at that time, after he left the Montreal Expos. John Candelaria. Who's this of? Gary Matthews and John Denny. Is that like on batting and pitching stars? Oh, here we got some 1970. 1970. Not one of my favorite years for baseball. I didn't like the gray border cards, but I love the black border of 71. So I don't know why I didn't really take to the 1970 set very much. It just is meaning to be kind of a blah set, to be honest. But I know there's some really good cards in there. There's Ted Sizemore with a catcher. Oh, he's second base. I thought he was a catcher. I'm getting maybe mix that up with Ted Simmons. Anyways, back to it here. Ken Berry. And Padres outfielders. There's nobody of any importance in here, it doesn't look like. Just commons mostly, but still is their 1970 cards. I mean, I might set those aside and maybe try and move those along. Like I said, I never was a big fan of the 70 set, so I don't really care to really collect them very much. So I might move them. We'll just have to see. Alrighty, let's get into some more baseball. This is what, 1998 maybe? Yep, 1998 here. This is 1999. I don't know why I keep looking at the back. I'm going to set that 198 on the side and we'll go through these 99s. It's amazing they aren't all bricked. I don't know why Topps did that, made the product so it all stuck together. You can feel them sticking a little bit as you're going through them. This 1999 set, just wasn't a big fan of this set at all. It's hard to read the names quite a bit. Everything is a gold border. So it's really not one of my favorite sets through the years at all. Jose Canseco's in there when he was with Toronto. Wonder if he'll ever get in the Hall of Fame, if they ever let him be in the Hall of Fame. Maybe they'll do the same thing they did for Pete Rose and wait till he passes away and then they'll put him in. Or give him the opportunity to be in, possibly. Anyways, what do we got here? I found some 1989s. Let's just rattle through these 1989s really quick and see if we find anything decent here. Rick Honeycutt. Good player, good pitcher for the A's. And Wilt Hada, Tom Bernansky on the 1986 or 85, I'm sorry. 86 was the black border. I don't know why I said 86. These are 85s. We'd be looking for the Roger Clemens in 85, but that isn't in there. This is 85 Paul Owens. What was this, 1981 Donruss, I believe? Or Fleer. 1981 Fleer. First year Fleer cards. Absolutely boring. It doesn't say anything on here as far as what the set is, or very generic cards, and the photography is pretty brutal overall. Just you could definitely tell that it was the first year that Donruss came out for sure, or Fleer came out for sure. So nothing too special there. Scott Hattenberg. Like I said, it's just hard to read some of these names. Will Clark, obviously, was a long time. Oh, San Francisco Giant. Andres Galarraga, the big cat, Andres Galarraga. Sandy Fox, don't know anything about him. Bobby Abreu was a good player for the Phillies. Prospect cards, Brad Penny. Hey, that's not too bad. Brad Penny was a really good pitcher for a long time. I'm actually going to set that one aside because that's a pretty decent card there. And anything else? Gabe Kapler. Is in there. David Wells pitches perfect game. I understand when he pitched that perfect game against the Twins, he was actually pretty hungover. It was a Sunday. I remember listening to the game on the radio, actually. And I listened to that perfect game. It was a Sunday afternoon, and the rumor was that he was actually pretty hungover when he pitched in that game. Kenny Lofton. Russ Davis. More prospect cards. I don't think there's anybody of importance in here. Draft picks. Again, I don't think there's anybody. I'd be surprised if there's anybody of importance in here that we would regularly know. Because I imagine I probably separated those out at one time or another. And that is it. Here's some 1997s or 98s, I'm sorry. 1998s. Alrighty, let's continue the 98 theme. Kevin Tapani, Fred McGriff, the crime dog. Freddie McGriff, there's a random card in there. Steve Stahoviak. And Johnny Damon was a good player. Was he with the Red Sox then, or with the Giant, or with the? Oh, he was with the Royals. He was probably best known as being with the Boston Red Sox, and then he was a Yankee for a long time. Craig Counsell, Bip Roberts, Andy Pettit was a really good player. Got hung up in the PED scandal, so that kind of killed him. Moises Alou, Ken Hill, Shannon Stewart, Barry Larkin. That's a good one. Barry Larkin, we'll set that one aside. Now we're back to the 99s again. I don't know why I got the 99s scattered all over the place. Eric Milton. Is that Frank Thomas? No. Hard to read it. Maglio Ordonez. Chan-Ho Park. And back to 97s. Ken Caminetti was a decent player for some time. There's 1990s again. Oof, we're kind of bouncing all over the map a little bit. Back to, what is this, 81 Donruss randomly put in here. Cecil Fielder, Prince Fielder's dad. And then a random hockey card. All mixed up, for sure. Alrighty, we just got a few stacks to go through yet. See what we can find in here. Alrighty then. We haven't found anything really earth-shattering yet. Joe Randa. Bobby Higginson. Another one that's kind of hard to read. Reminds me of the current series, the current set. Not a big fan of this year's set, to be honest with you. I think that they should have done a better job on quality control with the names especially. So anyways, everybody's got their opinion. I'm sure that some people out there love the set this year, but I much prefer last year's set over this year's set for sure. Curt Schilling. It's kind of a cool card. And that is it for that little stack. Alrighty, what do we got here, guys? These are 2005s, maybe. Yep, 2005s. There's another Curt Schilling. Not going to be... he probably should be in the Hall of Fame. Jeff Kent was a really good player. Is this Jeff Kent? Yeah, I believe it is. He was primarily with the Pirates, though. That's what oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he wasn't with the Pirates. Who am I getting that? I might be getting him mixed up with Andy Van Slyke for some reason. Anyways, he was with the Giants and started off with the Mets. Was Jeff Kent, but he was a good player for a long time for sure. Scott Rollins, or Jimmy Rollins, I should say Rollins. Frank Robinson, Ozzie Guillen, coach card. Craig Biggio, there's Hall of Famer Craig Biggio. That's cool. Mike Scioscia is a good card. And is that Brian Roberts? I like these ones. This 05 set's pretty sweet. I like that you can read the name nice and clear on top, and they do a really nice job with the team logo and then putting the name on the side. I really like that a lot. Do like these cards. Kind of wish they'd bring back the style. 1991 Donruss. Julio Franco, card from Carlton Fisk, Hall of Famer. Not his base card, but just a highlights card. Diamond Kings of Barry Bonds. How about that? That's kind of cool. Worth setting aside. Oral Hershiser. Stud pitcher for sure. And there we go for that. Alrighty, we are cruising through it. We got just a couple stacks left, and then we will be done. We're at 20 minutes, so I don't want to take too much more time. We've probably got another 4 or 5 minutes left. I'll kind of rattle through these a little bit and try not to tell so many stories. Frank Tanana, Oda B. McDowell. Always like that name, Oda B. McDowell, R.J. Reynolds. I'm looking for some Hall of Famers, though. Danny Gladden, still a broadcaster now with the Minnesota Twins. Really good broadcaster, though. There's Andres Galarraga again. Billy Ripken. There's Jack Morris. Hey, Hall of Famer. We got a Hall of Famer. There's Lou Whitaker, not Hall of Famer, but definitely should be. I've never figured out why Lou Whitaker is not in the Hall of Fame. Alan Trammell is, but not. There's Dante Bichette, Bo's dad. But not Lou Whitaker, sweet Lou Whitaker. I mean, those two were a pair for years and years and years. Here's Gary Carter, Hall of Famer. But so I never really understood why he never made it to the Hall of Fame. I mean, he was a good player for a long time. Maybe you guys can let me know down in the comment section what you guys think of that. Rob Wilfong, Brian Kingman, Tony La Russa is a good manager card. And that is it for that stack. Alrighty. One stack left. We got some 2006s. Again, I don't know why I keep looking at the back. Just want to look at what the back looks like. Torrey Hunter, my Minnesota Twins. I know he's not a Hall of Famer, but what the heck, was one of my favorite players for obviously a long time when he led the Twins in the early 2000s. Chipper Jones, there's a Hall of Famer. Chipper Jones, that's actually a really nice card. Again, I do like this 2006 set. Really nice looking set of cards. Actually, I kind of wish they'd stick to this kind of thing. Troy Glaus. Joe Mauer, Hall of Famer. This is like his third or fourth year card. Third year card, maybe. Yeah, I think that's his third year card. Joey Mauer was a good catcher. I know a lot of people had a problem with him getting in the Hall of Fame, but locally he was the man. Still is Trevor Hoffman. Walter Young. Albert. Mr. Pujols, that's a good card for sure. Blue Jays team set. Rangers team set. Yankees team set. That might not be too bad. Willie Randolph. There's the rest of the team sets apparently. Chris Carpenter. And then we got like in-action cards. Kind of looks like. There's one of Torrey Hunter. Jeff Kent again. Coco Crisp. Always loved that name, Coco Crisp. He was actually a pretty decent player. There he is, Tom Glavine. That's a really good card. Towards the end of his career when he left the Braves and ended up with the Mets. I think we have some more here. Home run history of Barry Bonds. Team card. Marcus Giles and Chipper Jones. At least it has Chipper on the front of it. Alex Rodriguez. Not going to set him aside. He's another guy I don't know that will ever get in the Hall of Fame. He just bought the Timberwolves. Him and Mark Lowry. There's another A-Rod. Right there. So the other ones must be like... What's the difference? Well, this is a league MVP card. And this would be his base card. Is what we got going on there. Brian Jordan again. And anything else? Don't see anything else. There's a couple of Yankee or Mantle reprints. Own the Game of Mariano Rivera. That's pretty sweet. Derek Jeter's a good one too. And then these are Heritage, it looks like. Alrighty, one stack left. Ah, I'm just going to cruise through these because I don't know that we'll find anything in here at all. I just don't like going through these 1999 cards. They all stick together. I think there's Barry Bonds in there. Did I see him Barry? No, Chili Davis. And Carlos Delgado. Carlos Delgado. Good player for a long time. Is that Ken Caminetti again? Yeah, Ken Caminetti. Oof. Okay. What the heck, guys? We are done. That was about it. But that was really fun to go through. Really enjoyed going through that box of cards. We did find some decent Hall of Famers in here, as I just kind of threw them into a little bit of a stack. I'll go through and sort these up a little bit later. What did we get for Hall of Famers? We ended up with Mariano Rivera, a couple mantles, Chipper Jones, Tommy Glavine, Albert Pujols. Not a Hall of Famer yet, but will be. Chipper Jones is in there. Tony Lewis on the 90, or the 81 Donruss. 1990 Fleer, Gary Carter, Lou Whitaker, Jack Morris. Barry Bonds on the 91 Donruss Diamond King card. That's pretty sweet. And then on the 2005s, we've got Mike Scioscia, Craig Biggio, Curt Schilling. And then on the 1998 Barry Larkin card. So that is what we got here, guys. Not too bad. I think we came out okay. Found some decent cards in there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed going through this box of cards. I'll probably do this on a fairly not really fairly regular basis, but definitely once in a while. It's kind of fun to go through old cards and gives me kind of incentive to go through and start organizing them. So anyways, guys, thanks for joining me tonight. If you're new to the channel, haven't had a chance to hit that like and subscribe, go ahead and take care of that for me. And to all my OG subscribers, you know how much I appreciate everything you guys do every day. So thanks, guys. Be safe out there and happy collecting. We'll talk to you guys later.